Hello, hello, hello. Welcome
everyone.
back. This is our second episode of the year. So,
We're killing it.
Period.
Sorry.
Yes, don't worry. By December, you will see how many we would have done. Just
One
watch
for
this
you
space.
every month at the minimum.
But yeah, thank you again for watching, another podcast that we're having. It's really nice. The reason why we keep continuing is because you guys love it. And Esther, it's very interesting. I went for a HR conference this month as well. And one lady came up to me. She was like, oh, your HR breakout room. The fact that I was not known for the career that I've been doing for 12 years in my office, it was quite amazing. I said, oh my God, yes, I am. She was like, oh, I really like you guys. I'm really excited. I watched the videos. It really impacts me. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, we're ginger.
Keep watching, please, please, please. And then someone told me at work. So I started checking, did I say anything I should not have said in that episode? But someone watched it and they were in a conference and then they all watched it. I thought that was very nice. So it became a whole conversation.
Oh my.
The one on managers and managers being responsible for employee retention, etc.
Yes.
Yeah. The person was just like, it was a whole debate and they had the conversation and I was like, okay, I'm here to, disrupt. So that was good.
So
yeah.
So what are we talking about today?
First, close. Oh, you got this top is giving.
Thank you,
Girl,
from Zinkata.
it is lovely. I like the whole detail with the rope and everything. Sure, how much is it? 60,000.
Shut up, my friend. You must air your dirty laundry in the open. Call it Falake.
What's the name?
I don't know, Falake.
Falake in Spain.
Because their things are not expensive. So.
It's even better they call the thing Rose or Julia. Once he has Yoruba name, hey, Ogaju. It's all over. Okay, Zinkata.
And what are you wearing?
Yes, Otiti Obuba. Unfortunately, her business is on a hold right now, but this is one of her oldies. I've had it for like 2 years. Oh. Plain, simple dress. I just love it. Thank you.
Okay. So what are we talking about today?
We're asking HR.
Okay.
A literal Ask HR episode, because I feel like it's been a long time coming, right? There are all these questions that you guys have on your mind, and we've gotten intel from some of the DMs we've received and come up with a few questions, not all. And we're going to answer your burning HR
one. I have
questions.
a question for HR.
Ask us.
Why are people so mean?
We're somehow happy. You like policy.
You would just like to fire. If
The policy said
HR is calling you like this. Hey,
you're going home. Bring your laptop. You can add bring your laptop for impact. Hello, Falake. Please, can you please come to my office with your laptop? My friend, go and sit down.
But why
Your
are you so
mind.
mean?
But you know what's so interesting is we don't even fire.
That's the point that I'm trying to get to. So who makes the decisions?
Falake is your manager.
Thank you very much.
We are merely messengers. It's the same way that I can't hire you. I don't know why they keep thinking we fire, because we can't hire. That's why when we are having a meeting with you, they will say, HR called me for a hire. No, the HR person is not the decision maker. It's when your line manager and his manager say you are great. That's when you're great.
Exactly.
So obviously, it's when your line manager, his manager, and top management sign off on your exits. That's when we can exit you. We're merely pencils in the hands.
Yes,
I'm sorry, that's not what we are.
But
that's a little shady.
but so imagine it. So you're working in a company, you're HR for 400 people. How do I know the performance of 400 people to not say that you're the one that I'm going to hire? I'm going to fire you.
I'll fire you. I don't like your behavior. No, except, of course, it's something that you have done that is ethical.
Yes.
And there's a policy, which is not even me. I may be the custodian of the policy, but the policy is the work of multiple, multiple sources, right? From management, industry, what we see, etc., etc. It's been properly vetted. So we're basically implementing.
Yes.
But alas, they think we fire. But I guess it's the way we also go about it. And I think, can we start having better exit conversations as HR people?
That is one thing we need to do.
Gosh.
We need to do it. I think that, so I feel like sometimes we've gotten to the place where we've done it so often that it becomes very mechanical. And I had one time, and after I went back and thought, I could have done better. I could have been more human in the process. But we've done it so much that you even want to detach yourself personally from the situation. You want to detach your emotions from it because it's also heavy for you, right?
The organization has looked at things based on our performance, based on your performance, and we have come to a very difficult decision. I remember there was a period of my life where I was just, someone called me the angel of darkness. Every Friday I will call you, bring your laptop. Yeah. And you will know that was the end. But I think we should be having better conversations. We should be more humane. We should be kinder.
And I think in general too, we should have more touch points with employees, right? Because a lot of times, the only 2 times or 3 times they talk to HR would be when they're hired, right? And when they're fired. That's the touch point. So when you're calling them, I'm already hired now, so what else can it be for? But if you have that relationships already with them, when you're calling, they don't think, oh, she wants to fire me.
Yeah.
So we need to do better in terms of our engagement.
I agree, but I think managers have a very big role to play
They
as
do.
well. I think it's unfair that you have watched someone actually go down the drain. Her performance has been bad for 3 years or 2 years, as the case may be, based on your own unique policy. And she has no inclination she's going to be fired.
Bad. Yeah.
You have gisted with her. You've talked to her about her last trip to Dubai. You guys have had a great rapport. You've promised her in the new year. You guys have deliberated on a few things you want to do. But you just want me to come and help you fire
Why
her.
should they when you're the one should I go to do the work?
Then when they ask you, open your dirty mouth with your big salary,
It's
no
HR.
apologies, and you say it's HR.
Yeah.
Okay, you are a manager. Madam, you are a manager.
Own it.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Own it. You should actually have had that conversation before she's administered the letter.
Yeah.
That
They should have
person
seen it
should
coming.
know.
Yeah.
In fact, I've seen managers who literally tell you ahead and say, look, plan yourself.
Yes.
Don't take that vacation. This is not the time for you to be spending. Look for a job. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but people even go as far as making it as seamless as possible.
For them, yeah.
Except it was a disciplinary case, which is in most times you
It's
don't see it
one-off, you don't
coming.
have
You
that
don't, you don't
much,
have that
yeah.
more often.
Yeah.
But you know someone is leaving. You know they are going to be caught, especially when it's just because we can't afford to pay the person anymore. Then you just close your mouth. Everybody's hiding, and then you say it's HR. Do better.
Okay.
Do better. I have another question for
Yeah.
you, Oyi. What can I do if my boss verbally appreciates me? My boss is always saying, thank you, Esther, well done, great job, great job. But my salary is just standing. Case constant. It hasn't changed, and it's now 3 years, it's now 4 years. But I get a lot of verbal appreciation. She's, he or she is always, someone asks that question, what would you say the
Not
person
my
should
honest
do?
opinion, I mean my HR opinion.
I want your honest opinion. You know, we're friends in HR. We're HR, your friends here.
To be honest, first thing I would, have that conversation with my boss to say, I believe that I do deserve the increase. And with the receipts, right? These are all the things that I've done. I can even go as far as saying I know what they're paying other people in other places, right?
Because we know you know.
Yeah.
We say
and-
confidential, but people discuss.
Right? And this is the economy that we're in now, right? I'm going to always give my best, but I do deserve this raise. And men, again, let's go back to that conversation, don't have a problem, having that quick chat with their boss. It might even be over drinks. That's the worst part, where you say, I'm rushing home. Just quickly went with their boss for drinks after
Baba.
work and had that conversation.
We need it to.
It cannot even be more than that.
The
Baba, we
other
need it to.
gender. I love it.
Because guys throw me all the time when you just talk about it. Guys don't remember the names of each other. They say nice one, my guy. I say,
Baba. I was like, what are you guys on? You just met.
but I digress, right? And that's the first thing I would discuss. But if repeatedly I'm not getting that increase, there is no harm looking elsewhere, right? It's a service that we're delivering. It's value. Even if it was my father's company and my father wasn't paying me, they're not going to vex. I'll find something else. I think if you really have that value and you know what you're bringing to the table, you should be able to demand it. And if, in the long run, it's not being profitable, take it elsewhere, but make a plan. Don't just leave and say, oh, this is my resignation letter. Don't be hasty
Not
in making
in anger,
decisions.
yes. I see
and
that
leave
happen.
respectfully as well. I
Yes.
think don't ever shut doors.
Yes.
And that person will understand when you are giving them the resignation letter that, oh, this babe, she has raised it different times.
Yes.
She has escalated it. And
Nothing
that's
was
it.
done. No, I really agree with you. I think that we're all entrepreneurs. I always like to use that when I talk about career rights. And just because I'm working with ABC and Co today doesn't mean I'm tied there.
It
We
doesn't.
love to keep you in our company as HR people. Your retention is our pleasure.
Yes.
But you must look out for your own self. I think people need to take their career in their own hands.
You do. You're the
You
driver
do.
of it.
You're the driver. I think I hear people come and say, I've spent 10 years. 10 years. I'm like,
I say it's not ministry. It's ministry.
you
They
just
do
want to
reward
be
for 10
here.
years.
You like it here, so stop complaining. I don't think you should put that much power in your manager
Yeah.
to promote you. For 10 years, you've earned the same salary, maybe with a
It's not
10%,
acceptable.
5% increase. How are you surviving? No, please, promote yourself. I have a manager that used to say promotion comes from the Lord.
Well,
So technically, right?
when the Lord tells you,
Yeah, the Lord is telling you to do something else. By
You
all
move.
means. But again, in our friendly HR voice, your retention is our pleasure. Stay with your company.
What's your next question?
Okay, so I have something else here that's interesting. What is the difference between office politics and eye service?
So I think I shared this with you, right? I was listening to a podcast by Jay Shetty, and he was kind of saying how to navigate yourself for this year, for 2024. And one of the things he said is look at the patterns. So you can choose the way you look at office politics. Some things are patterns that work. When you're in a room, you act like, what? The woman?
Yes, yes,
Right?
yes.
So there's certain things, and if it doesn't work for you, start to make your exit plan to leave. The culture might not fit your, your personal values and beliefs. But
That's
if there's
right.
a way, he's like, don't listen to the things that people write or what they wrote. What's it called? Be very attentive to what's going around. Is it people with certain skills? Is it people that network better that are getting promoted? You still do your job, but find the patterns. It's very, very important. And that triggers something. It's true. People that have patterns that are being promoted. I remember one time, I used to think, this guy is just everywhere. But the guy was moving. Meanwhile, you are sitting down.
It's like, I
not
know
thinking
that guy.
about this person is everywhere. It's very everywhere. But you sat down in the same position.
Very true. I think, and what you say is so powerful. I think every organization has a unique pattern.
Yes.
What
everyone
happens
does.
in this industry, and I've been blessed to have worked in multiple industries, may not be what happens in another industry.
Very true.
So you really cannot use the same strategy all
Even
the
in the
time.
same industry, different organizations act
Absolutely.
differently.
Even in the same organization, different departments have different. Absolutely. So I think I agree with you. I've never thought about that. Find the pattern. If the pattern is something you can replicate it
Quickly.
and move your way to more money and leadership. But on a more serious note, on you, what is eye service?
I think an eye service. I think is bad, right? It's only doing certain things because certain people are in the room. I don't want to be known for that. I want to be known for quality regardless of who's in the room.
That's right.
That's why I would say
love that.
not eye service, right? But if, there's something extra that I need to do in terms of office politics or patterns. So let's say, for instance, just doing my job and being visible in my job wouldn't get me promoted. But I see that if I go and join one women's group where they're talking and trying to promote women, that would help. They're doing parties and stuff. I need to talk more and walk around. I would do that. That's not eye service. I'm understanding that, regardless, in and out of if my boss was there or not, I've seen that this is a pattern and I will do it.
I totally agree with you. So I think there's someone I know, and I find him very interesting. It was a little irritating, but then I realized it was office politics, and I had to respect the hustle.
Yes.
Because it was consistent. Consistency is a thing for me. He's always very objective. He doesn't give room for emotions. So I give an example. Maybe something happens and everybody's complaining, no, why did the person talk to us like this? No, let's remove the work. Why? Like we're talking about all the other petty stuff.
Yes.
He's like, guys, I understand. I'm trying not to overdo it so he doesn't watch himself. He goes like, guys, I understand. But can we just look at the work ahead? And can we just do the work?
That's a good approach.
And I'm thinking about it now. At some point, I realized it was politicking, but I like it. Like, he's very consistent in being the rational guy
Yeah.
in a conversation. Like, he's always just, focused. Let's leave all the little challenges. Let's just stay on where we're going.
But when you
And I
come
like
to that
it.
point,
Yeah.
I also believe that as much as we spend so many hours at work, I don't take things personally.
Yes.
Right, I think that's one way to grow. I've met a lot of people who maybe your boss is angry today. She says something. It's really I drop it. Like
That's
she has
right.
said it, I drop it. I work
It's
on
not
it. I
that
move
deep,
on,
yeah.
right? So I feel like in our relationship at work as well, we need to be very professional and not
Yes.
hold on to grudges. We're not
Yes.
your husband or
It's
your
not,
wife.
they're not a friend.
We're
Yeah.
really just all here to really perform, really move the business
Yeah.
forward. Give me my salary, the value that I'm bringing to you. You can't really pay me my value, but whatever we agreed.
But my value,
What we agreed upon at that time.
as it changes, you also hear from me.
Give it to me and let me go.
And let me go. I agree
Right,
with you.
I'll give my best to it, but it's not personal.
I agree with you. I like that. I think people need to be more professional. I think we need to, the emotions need to be very much doused because I feel like at work we now think we're siblings. We're not.
We're not.
Let's just take it easy. And you can get friends out of work. You can
Yes,
get
you
mentors for life out of work, but it's not going to be common. So let's just do the job. So I like that particular guy.
Yeah.
I personally thought he played office politics in a very good way. He was always, and I think it's definitely going to get him far
I agree.
in his career.
I agree.
So someone asked another question I like. What can I do if my line manager consistently passes on more work to me, claims I'm very effective, but okay, so basically the person is saying that this person's line manager passes on more work, claims the person is great, very effective, but the person never gets the reward. So like the ineffective people will get the reward. You know, like how maybe I would say, you know what, just give Oyiko the work. Just leave. Ifoma doesn't even know what she's doing. Just give Onyi the work, please. Onyi, please get this done, right? Oyiko is going to get the work done. But Ifoma is going to still get her salary and Oyiko will still get her salary. So it's not like they're adding. So I think it's around reward. And we're getting a lot of reward compensation questions because of
The economy as
the
well.
economy,
Everybody
yeah.
has to be paid. But I feel it's same as before, right? Having those conversations. And number two, setting boundaries.
Yes.
Right.
I like that.
I think that, personally, I'm a very non-confrontational person as well. So
Oyiko does not like fight.
I do not like. Meanwhile, if I have any problem, I can call Esther. She's always ready to go to the
I've
battleground.
repented. See, I'm not doing it.
I will still call you.
See my blood.
But I feel set boundaries, right?
I like that.
If you, for instance, have a certain bandwidth, right? Tell them this is what I can do. If you're giving me more, what do you want me to take out of my plate for now to be able to accommodate that more? And that's okay. You see that I feel like the relationship between managers and employees is also much like children and parents. Children keep testing your boundaries to see where you say no. Where they see that you're responding with that no, they will start to get sense, right? So I think that you also need to set that boundaries because there are other areas of your life you also need to invest in as a person. You have your personal life when you get home. You have your personal development when you get home. There's a lot of things that are pulling on your time. So you need to manage it. Your manager is not going to say, it's like you have enough work. Not really. Because they still need to get those KPIs met. It's your responsibility to own it.
I totally agree. I like that, setting boundaries. I think just generally, even in life, people just need to set boundaries. But I think something else for me is you also need to remember that matters die. You know, and Pastor Mildred Okonkwo always says that, and I picked it, matters die. That's the thing about all matters, they die. So the more you take, is not necessarily going to grant you success. You need to start learning to work smart, not necessarily harder.
Yes.
So to the point we made on visibility of your projects, being in the right environment, taking the right courses, doing the right thing at the right time is more important than being a dump or a dump ground. Because a lot of times that's what you are.
You just keep taking it.
You are a dump ground. And because a lot of us, especially, being African and more so even being a Nigerian, we really treasure appreciation. When people find us valuable, we then just start to take everything because we enjoy the attention, we enjoy the value. So I think we need to really put ourselves first.
I think some people, it's even job security, right? If you're bringing value, and I think that's the point where we need to focus on as a person, make sure you have value to bring. Right?
First.
Nobody's going to fire you for saying no when they know that there's something you're bringing to the table.
Except
But if
you don't have
just,
value.
If you're just
But talking
in
to
between
those
here or there.
Yeah.
So know what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
Not that you're still learning. Because some interns now will come and say they gave her work. No. Again, you do it.
You're an intern.
You are
do
still
it.
learning.
So it'd be better that you do it.
So and that was just a joke, but really
Yeah.
you need to bring value to the table and have your personal brand. When you say no, they're like, I know that she still has a lot to bring and offer. She just can't do it at this point, and it's okay.
And it's okay. The last thing is compensation. Again, I talk about that a lot because of the economy.
Which way, my sister?
I don't know. What do you think employers should do? Because this is bad.
It's interesting because, again, I understand from both sides, right? As employers as well, the costs have gone up, right?
Yeah.
So there's not much you can say. How much more will you really increase it for you to have that comfort? I think is looking outside of the box as well to seeing how can we improve the lives of our employees, right? Is there ways we can partner with financial institutions, for instance, to maybe give discounts in certain ways? How can we stretch what we're currently given? So still give that increase. So
You will need the increase.
but we need
But
to
that's not
look
what we are
for
saying.
other ways to improve people's lives. For instance, on the HMO or the healthcare, are there ways that we can negotiate to have their parents, for instance, brought on? Because a lot of people's finances are also going to their families, right? So can we reduce the cost burdens that they're spending in those ways? Are there ways that, today, an average lady, maybe I probably would do my nails and, go to a spa treatment. Are there ways I can negotiate discounts with those companies? How can I stretch the value of, what I'm paying, so what I'm able to afford to pay today? Is one way I think we can look at it.
And when you talk about doing your nails and spa, I think we also need to consider the benefits that we give. There are some benefits that are a little redundant.
Yes.
Especially in line with review your benefits. Somebody just wants Netflix somewhere.
Yes, and give it to them.
Give it to them. Like, stop. This whole thing that you force people to do a certain type of thing because it was relevant in 1900. It's now 24.
Flexible today.
Be more flexible.
So you can play around the cost you already have for those benefits and make it more, in a way that employees would appreciate it. Because, again, the generation is changing, right? It's not what it was 10 years ago. It's not even what it was 5 years ago, right? So we need to, as HR, be more flexible as well.
And more creative. And I think that we also need to be very close to finance. We need to deepen that relationship so that when we come with our strong cases, we get an audience.
Our best friends finance.
Our best friends. We need to be close to them because I was asking you this morning, I'm curious. For every industry, I'm sure there's a cost to income ratio that we should be fairly pegged at depending on what profits you are making and what you should be spending, right? Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of businesses, even before this recession, were not even at the right place. They were not closed. They're probably way lower. And those are conversations that HR and finance should. What is realistic cost to income ratio? Are we there? Have we exceeded that? Like what? Let's know the books.
Yeah,
I think we should know the books.
Yeah, and I think the discussion we're having, right? HR has to be more of an advocate.
Oh God.
For employees or people. So I was talking to a lady recently. She's in HR, and it's interesting how she, came into HR. She said she studied law. That one day she just saw HR was doing some things. I don't know what it was funny. She said, this cannot be right. I'm a lawyer. I know the policies. And she went to study HR. Right? So we need to advocate because she was like, this was just looking like manager's puppets or management puppets.
Our yes. We are yes sirs and yes ma'ams. I have to let's take our badge. Is that like a bell that we can ring when we give HR the badge of being yes people? Like we're quite yesy, quite frankly.
So we need to change that
we have to change that. And I think it's just because, like I said, we have to come with facts. You know how the Bible says present your strong arguments. Finance needs to be our friend. We're too far.
Yeah,
a lot of times we're too far from the books. That's why management can say, go, no more money.
We'll run.
And we'll run. We can't challenge. We don't even have the information. This seat at the table, Oof, Lord.
I mean, we're on our way there, but we'll get there. There are a few people that have gotten there, but we still have a lot of work.
Some people are there, girl. But it's okay. Okay, so we've asked the charity today. I think we're going to do more of these.
Yes.
I like them.
Let us know which other questions you want us to address in the comment section. We'll definitely do more podcasts and we'll address the questions. But again, thank you so much for listening and watching today's episode. And we look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Yes. Bye.